Move out of the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, I will move out the way of the vehicle.
Vehicle coming.
Yeah, it goes up left-hand side, doesn't it?
Move out of the way now.
I told you where the boundary is.
Come on, then.
Don't.
Welcome to Candid Cops UK. Real stories, real duty. Life behind the badge.
This episode is brought to you by Power to the Proletariat. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Auditor Proletariat delivers one of the boldest audits yet, right outside Peterborough Police Station. What begins as peaceful filming quickly escalates when two sergeants storm out, attempting to intimidate and remove him from the area, despite the absence of any signage indicating it is private property. But Proletariat refuses to back down. Calm, confident, and legally precise, he holds his ground as more officers arrive. It's a masterclass in knowing your rights and exposing poor policing.
I told you where the boundary line is. We don't mind you filming, but you need to be off.
Who are you guys? Sergeant.
Come on.
Okay.
Then walk then,
There
please.
was no need to get physical. I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now because I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now.
walking then.
Sergeant 1096.
That's me.
I am walking away and you're still touching me.
You're not walking away, though.
I am. Am I not walking? Am I not walking away?
Turn and face that way.
You're a dickhead, mate. That's what you are. Off. Tell me not to swear. I can swear over you if I want to. There's no need to push me like that.
We've told you where the boundary is.
Yeah?
Get out.
And I'm walking back. Why the f are you pushing me like that for? You
Move over
absolute
there.
bellend.
Because of your attitude.
You're a
So move over there.
bellend. You're a
Get off
bellend.
the
Move
ramp.
over there, please.
You're a bellend.
For emergency vehicles, get off the ramp.
There's no yellow box here saying I can't block it. You're a bellend.
Move out the way.
I'm quite capable of moving out the way of vehicles by myself.
Move out the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, I will move out the way of the vehicle.
Vehicle coming. Move.
Yeah, it goes up left-hand side, doesn't
Move
it?
out the way now.
I told you where the boundary is.
Come on, then.
Don't act like a knob.
You're the one pushing me.
Yes.
I know I'm on the pavement and I'm on here now and you
Right.
still
Stay
pushed
there,
me.
then.
You still pushed me.
Right. Don't come on.
You're a bellend.
Okay.
Before even identifying himself, the sergeant lays hands on Proletariat, pushing him back as though he were a criminal, completely disregarding the code of ethics that requires officers to use communication and restraint before resorting to force. When Proletariat calmly states he is walking away, that should have ended the matter. Instead, the sergeant continues shoving him, crossing both legal and professional boundaries. When Proletariat, clearly frustrated, swears out of shock, the sergeant responds with, "Don't act like a knob." A sergeant is supposed to set the standard, not sink beneath it. His duty was to de-escalate, identify himself, and act with respect. Instead, he demonstrated exactly what abuse of authority looks like, a man using his badge as a license to bully.
What's your collar number there?
1096.
Yours?
95, right, you-
1995. I'm trying to read your collar number. You're a bellend, both of you. Sergeant's my ass. You wait till your inspector gets hold of this. Dickhead. Is there an inspector on duty at the station today?
There'll be many inspectors inside.
Yeah.
but,
Well, I've just, what I believe to be assaulted by two sergeants. So if you can get an inspector out, I'd love to report that to them. I'm happy to show them the footage. There was nothing saying that it's private property, no unauthorised access or anything like that.
Of course, do you want? I'll talk plainly.
Yeah.
I won't muck
That's cool.
around. Okay. There are different people who audit and things like that.
Sure.
Sometimes people try and push buttons, right? So I'll just speak plainly.
Yeah,
and
that's
speak
cool, no worries.
open and honest. I get is nothing there. Yeah, we've just got a simple barrier. There's no fencing there. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
appreciate that. And let you know at the moment now, this is private property. I'm sure you can appreciate we do have to keep areas secure, and secure as can be. Not very secure without a fence there, but that's
Well,
not
exactly. I mean,
challenging,
there's a big old footpath
Absolutely.
coming up from the grass verge there.
In fairness, I'd say you probably do know this is private property because it is a police station. Okay?
I mean, everything in the UK is private property though, really.
The plainclothes officer's reasoning is legally baseless. Simply because something appears to belong to the police does not automatically make it private land. Without barriers, fencing, or signage stating restricted access, the law treats it as publicly accessible space. The public has an implied right to be there until that access is clearly revoked. Standing outside a police station does not erase that right. The officers claim that it is private simply because it is police property reveals a lack of understanding of public accountability. Police facilities are funded by taxpayers and open for public interaction at designated points. Without visible signs or physical barriers, Proletariat was fully within his rights to stand there and film.
I'm not a civil lawyer and all that, so I'm not
Sure.
going to get that. I can't really have you around here if you don't mind, okay? It's nothing because there's hiding anything, but ultimately it's a working yard. There are vehicles that will fly out here responding to immediate
Sure,
things.
sure. As soon as I hear blue light sirens, I'll be out of the way.
Yeah,
There's
but
no issue with
I
that.
can't have you here anyway because it is a secure area.
In the meantime, I'm waiting at the moment. So I'm going to get every single vehicle, private, personal, whatever it is, coming in and out. And
That's
it's going to be
fine.
included on my footage.
But then if you could do that, could you do that from outside the private
I mean, to
property?
be fair, the sergeants actually said I was fine there. That's where they physically pushed me to. And even when I was on there, they continued to push me.
If you come, I'll show you. As far as I know, and again,
So the sergeants actually said that this sign here was the demarcation of the property, which clearly it's not, because it just says pedestrians to use front entrance, that's exit.
yeah, no, that'll
but
obviously be for notifying people who want to come speak to us where
yeah,
to go.
exactly.
Right?
So there's no demarcation. That's not demarcation of your boundary.
What I was going to say is normally I use the tree line. Okay, there is no physical line. There is no like it's that imaginary line. There is going to be a line somewhere which denotes the property boundary. If the sergeant has said it here, I'm not going to argue. I'd naturally say I think the tree line forms a kind of a natural boundary.
Examining the sign exposes how wrong the sergeant was from the outset. It does not state no public access or restricted area. It merely directs pedestrians to use the front entrance. That is guidance, not a legal restriction. The sergeant treated it as a prohibition when, in reality, nothing on that sign removes the public's right to be there. This proves proletariat was in a publicly accessible space, and the sergeant had no lawful authority to lay hands on him or force him back. If police wish to restrict an area, signage must clearly state so, backed by legislation or bylaws.
Really.
If the sergeant says that, I'm not going to argue.
But then the sergeant also saw me stood there on the very corner of the thing and said nothing either about me being there. He was literally watching me from the window for a good 5 minutes.
Do you know the sergeant's name?
1096 and 1995 were their collar numbers.
Were they a response sergeant?
They came out of that building up there, whatever it is up there.
If you don't mind, if you just stay here with my colleague, I'm going to go and speak to the sergeant up there and make sure that that's correct, that he's told me where to, he's told you to stand. Yeah. Because like I say, I normally use the tree line because it kind of makes a natural barrier. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I understand that it does create a sort of natural barrier, but unless you have these to show me where the boundary is and there's nothing to stop me accessing, there's nothing to say where your property starts and where it ends.
No,
so there's nowhere for you to realistically say, this is our property, you can't be stand here, you can only stand here.
But let's try and work together and be reasonable, because
I mean,
at the end of the day,
yeah, you are being reasonable, and I do appreciate that, but because of the behaviour of your sergeant, I'm not going to be reasonable with.
The tree line as a barrier comment perfectly illustrates the flawed logic at play, imaginary boundaries enforced with real authority. The plainclothes officer was inventing rules on the spot, attempting to turn landscaping into law. Features like trees or curbs carry no legal weight unless supported by clear signage, fencing, or physical demarcation that signals private land. Without that, the public's implied right of access remains. If you cannot physically identify the boundary of your property, you cannot claim someone is trespassing. This exchange highlighted the stark difference between knowledge and guesswork. Proletariat relied on facts, while the officer relied on a tree line. It was embarrassing.
I'm going to be rude to you, but in terms of negotiating where I can and cannot stand, I'm not going to negotiate that with you based on their behaviour.
I understand
not
that.
on yours, and I want you to understand that.
So I'm upfront and clear with you, just so I am fair with you, okay? I'm going to go and clarify that, all right? And if they've said, wherever, I will have to enforce a level of if we say this is where the barrier is, I'll have to ask you to stand on the other side of that.
Okay, and if you force me to move physically to a place, I will check where your boundary is with the local council, and if you have moved me to a place that you have no right to move me physically, you will be liable for reprimand under that. I will be filing. They're already getting complaints of it, IOPC. And until you're 100% sure where your boundary is, regardless of what your sergeant says, because unless they can prove where your boundary is, you can't move somebody physically.
And
you can't.
I'm trying to be reasonable, okay? So they might know.
Just let my colleague double check and we'll come back.
I totally get your point, all right? And that's why I'm going to go and do everything I can and try and check with them, okay? I get what you're saying there, and like I said, all I'm asking is to try and be reasonable, meet each other.
And again, I'm saying it's not because of you, because you have been reasonable, but because of them, I'm not negotiating.
Just bear with me, all right? Okay.
I don't negotiate with assholes.
The plainclothes officer openly admitted he did not know where the property line was. Yet he had already decided he would force proletariat back once his sergeant gave the order. That is not policing, that is improvisation. You cannot enforce a rule that has not been established. If they truly believed it was private land, the boundary would already be mapped, signed, and legally documented. Proletariat's response was spot on. It is not about what officers think, but what can be proven. The council, not the police, defines property boundaries and public access points. Without a legal map, sign, or order restricting entry, the space remains public, full stop.
Yeah, the sergeant has said that he's told you, and he is saying like, so the grass verge, not onto the road, please, and no further past this blue sign. Is that okay?
Maybe.
Okay, on that then, all right, I hear you saying maybe. At the moment, I'll leave you here, all right? Please don't do that, all right? Got no problem with you filming public, saying that's public, okay? Got to understand that's a working yard. There's also sensitive information. There's people here, whether victims or suspects, that we can't have you going and seeing. Normal as a member of the public, that is private, okay? Please stay here, okay. All right?
I mean, again, for you to raise with your higher ups, I would strongly suggest you get a more physical barrier fencing.
I 100% agree, but then the police, what are they keeping out? They're putting fences up, and that's at the lovely taxpayers' expense.
No, I agree with fences being around these places.
But that's the truth of it. No, to be fair, I think it should, because then it denotes it, all right? Well, I'm now telling you, mate, so that's pretty clear. The sergeants also echoed that, so you know, yeah? So... you're saying maybe, but then if you then go past that maybe, that's you willfully then
trespassing.
I get that you've had issues with them, okay? But then that's for your complaint, mate.
If police genuinely wish to prevent public entry, they must install a clear physical barrier. That is how every other organization defines private land. It is practical, lawful, and eliminates ambiguity. The officer even agreed initially, acknowledging proletariat was correct, but then deflected accountability by saying, then people will ask, what are the police keeping out? That is not a reason, it is an excuse. What this truly reveals is a desire to have it both ways. The authority of private property without the responsibility of marking it. They prefer confusion to control access rather than taking the simple step of erecting proper fencing or signage.
Yeah, because we were going off to do something again.
Yeah. We got as I was saying to your colleague,
stop and engage in challenges.
As I was saying to your colleague, you're actually other than the sergeants, because I went to where those vehicles are over there. You're actually the first people that have actually stopped and engaged with me, and I've been stood here nearly an hour.
Then that's bad officers, because they should, okay? But look, we're busy, we're human, we make mistakes, okay? Just like everyone else. Please don't do that.
But that's like I said, a sergeant accidentally killing somebody, say, people make mistakes, we're human. There's that room for error is not...
This is a conversation about someone standing on a road or a grass barrier, not me doing heart surgery, okay?
Yeah, but the room for error isn't there in the police.
We should make errors and we should learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
As should everyone, okay? Yeah. But that's just the way it is. Please don't willfully do that. If they do, then they might have to look at, I don't know, anything.
There's nothing they can get me. It's a civil issue, isn't it?
Because, okay, well, number one, okay, right, I'll just say this. Wasting police time. So
I'm not wasting this. I'm not forcing you to stop.
Hang on. Let me just say it, and then I'm going to go.
Accusing proletariat of wasting police time exposed the officer's lack of lawful grounds, forcing him to bluff. Wasting police time is a criminal offense under Section 5, Subsection 2 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, but it applies to false reports or deliberately misleading police, not to someone quietly filming in public. Proletariat did not call them, did not make a report, and did not obstruct an investigation. The officers chose to engage, meaning any wasted time was entirely on them. If officers involve themselves where no law is being broken, that is their responsibility, not the public's.
This is for your benefit, because I don't want to see you get arrested, and I think it probably even that then further would be a waste of our time, but we will have to take an action, all right, by doing something that causes an officer to then kind of go out of the way and waste their time doing it, and would have to engage with you and say, mate, don't stand here and have another 5, 10 minute, 15 conversation with you. That's them wasting our time, okay? So there it is, it's ticking those boxes. I don't think it would come to that, but it's just something we might have to do. Please just be reasonable, film the cars, whatever, alright? Just stay where you are, yeah? Please?
Maybe.
I'll leave it at that, dude. Just don't, just be sensible.
Maybe. Can't stop with them making... Not saying.
Why?
Because I don't give it out.
Why? I'm the public, I want to watch it.
You'll find it.
I want to like and subscribe.
You'll find it.
I won't try that hard.
As the officers finally retreated to their vehicles, the scene spoke volumes. Proletariat remained exactly where he began, calm, composed, and unshaken. What started as an attempt to remove a man with a camera ended with an undeniable truth. They never had the authority they believed they did. This encounter captured what happens when unchecked authority collides with calm, informed resistance. From the very first moment, the sergeants acted with force rather than reason or professionalism. They failed to assess the situation or even identify themselves before becoming physical. Yet despite being pushed, insulted, and talked down to, proletariat stayed composed, exposing their lack of control for all to see. The turning point came when he demanded proof. Where's the boundary? Where's the law? Where's your authority? Suddenly, their confidence evaporated. The plainclothes officers stumbled for explanations, the sergeants withdrew, and their entire "we know best" act collapsed in seconds. That is the power of lawful resistance. It requires no violence or shouting, only knowledge and composure. By the end, proletariat had not only stood his ground, but dismantled their entire approach to public accountability. The officers walked away embarrassed, their authority undone by their own ignorance. It was a quiet victory, but a powerful one. A reminder that the strongest stance you can take is knowing your rights better than those who try to take them from you. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It truly helps me continue independent coverage. And don't forget to check out Proletariat. His channel is linked in the description. Show him your support. Thanks for watching. This was Candid Cops UK. See you in the next episode.